So when I'm talking, I want you to have Babaji's energy coming through me. That's why I want you to breathe in Babaji's energy while I'm talking. Yeah, we're gearing up to go to India for the Divine Mother Festival the end of this month. So that's why we wanted to mention Babaji is available to all of you. That's what you have to get. Because if you're into breath work, then you have Babaji already with you, because Babaji is the father of breath work. Leonard Orr created rebirthing, but he downloaded it from Babaji and he acknowledged that, which means Babaji is there for you if you're into breath work. So I want you to all know that Babaji is available to you night and day. That's why I wanted to talk about that today. You can have his help. So those of you who are new, we breathe in the upper chest, through the mouth, circular, smooth breathing with no holding at the top and no holding at the bottom. So you don't hold the breath at all. You breathe in a circular, smooth, connected breath. And this cleanses your cells because you're not using up the energy jogging or doing exercise or whatever. In and out through the mouth, pulling on the inhale, relaxing on the exhale. Circular, smooth, connected breathing with no pause. So I acknowledge all of you for coming today. Babaji is here for you. If you're into breath work, I just want you to know he is available to you. He told me rebirthing is the new Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga was from Yogananda. Yogananda was his guru's guru was Babaji. So Yogananda was in the lineage of Babaji. But then Babaji said most people don't have the patience to do Kriya Yoga. It's a complicated meditation. So he said, rebirthing is the new Kriya Yoga because for modern times, people don't have the patience or the time to do meditation usually, but breath work is good. So you have Babaji's blessing right now and always if you're into breath work, and you might as well take advantage of having him as your guru, because having a guru is such a blessing. It helps you clear years and decades of karma. Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want that help from the guru? Otherwise, it's, the karma is too heavy. If you don't have a guru, the karma is too heavy. I'm going to say a little bit about Babaji. Then I'll read a little bit from my book on Babaji, and then I'll tell you what's in the arti that we're going to be playing. Okay, so if you're new, Babaji is called a Maha avatar, which means he was not born of a woman. That's hard to understand, but that means he materialized his body. Now, you can't get higher than that. So that's why I say, why would you want any other guru? You can't get higher than someone that could materialize their body. And even Jesus studied with Babaji in the lost years. And there's books on that. And we know that every Christmas, Babaji used to come out and honor Jesus. Every hour on Christmas Day, he would come out and honor Jesus. And he would say, I don't need millions of devotees. I just need another good one like Jesus. And he would say that. So we know that Jesus surrendered to Babaji. And so why not? Why not accept him as your master? Your whole life will change, okay? So he had many different forms. He could dematerialize and rematerialize, and he had many different forms. An earlier form was called Old Herakhan Baba in 1922 or more or less. And at that time, he was well known. Yeah, I did. He was well known for being able to levitate. He could resurrect the dead. He could sit in fires and not burn and all that. There's only one book that we have on that, Babaji Unknown and Unknown, is a small book. Okay, during that time, he would come and go. And he appeared to a little boy named Mahendra, who was only 6 years old, and he materialized in his room. Now imagine if you're in your room by yourself and suddenly a master appears to you without walking through the door. You'd be pretty startled, right? And then Babaji materialized candy for him. Well, he couldn't stop thinking about that, nor could you if that happened to you. So he thought about that, and he wanted to see that guru again, and he couldn't find him. So then he started walking around India for years looking for that same guru, and he couldn't find him. And then he got fed up and he said, I'm just going to lock myself in my room, and please breathe when I'm talking. I'm just going to lock myself in my room. I'm not coming out till you come back to me, whoever you are. And so then Babaji reappeared to him and said, what is it you want? And he said, I want you to come back for the sake of humanity because we need help here. So Babaji said, okay, I'll come back in 1970. And between now and then, you repair all these temples, which Mahendra did, and he became a great saint. So Babaji kept his word. In 1970, he reappeared and materialized his body out of the ethers in the cave in Herakhan, which is where we're about to go to, and which is where I would like to take you to in this lifetime. And he came out of the cave looking like a young rock star. If you see the pictures of him, it's just mind-blowing, the early pictures. So beautiful. Then he climbed on top of the cave on this mountain, Kailash, and he sat there 40 days and 40 nights without eating, sleeping, or even drinking water. And he kept his eyes closed because if he opened his eyes, people would just faint because it was too much energy. So he kept his eyes closed. And I met Indians, first of all, at that time, mostly the Indian devotees who we had before return. And I said, what was that like to see him there sitting? And they said, oh, we had constant visions of our past lives and our future. You know, they were blown out. So after 40 days, he came down from the mountain and started his mission. In 1970 to 84, he was here. Now, around 1970 something, I was in San Francisco running the Rebirthing Center for Leonard Orr, the founder of Rebirthing. And we got this letter. I was opening the mail. I saw this letter. It said, Leonard Orr, 301 Lyon Street, San Francisco. No return address. And it was stamped India, no town. I thought, this is strange. I opened the letter and the paper was very strange. It was like from old like some old primitive schoolhouse. Printed in pencil was come to India. No signature. Can you imagine? So I said to Leonard, we've been called. We didn't know who was calling us. So we started putting together a trip. I didn't even have the money to go to India, and I borrowed it, which is the greatest thing I ever did, that I was there. I paid it all back too, but I'm so glad I did that. Okay, so we went to India, and Leonard had this brilliant idea that we should look for gurus, trying to figure out who's calling us. So we all split up and went to different parts of India, and we decided to meet together in New Delhi in 2 weeks. So I went south to check out Rajneesh. Well, I'm glad I didn't relate to that. I said, no, that's not for me. My boyfriend and I went to the south to Rajneesh, but I didn't like it. So we came back to Delhi after 2 weeks, and Leonard had met this guru named Abu, and he was pretty powerful. And he was very much into me and wanted me to be his disciple. I didn't know if he was the right one, neither did Leonard, but anyway. Okay, but one girl was missing. Now you can't find a missing person in India. So we had to go back without her. You know, we didn't know what happened to her. And she didn't come back for 7 months. And I was there the day she walked in. I said, where have you been? We've been so worried about you. She said, I found the real Babaji. And I said, what? And anyway, I said, Leonard, we have to go right back. So we went back to New Delhi, and we stopped to see that Guru Abu, and he wanted me to be with him. And Leonard said, no, you come with me. I was really scared I'd make the wrong decision. And then Leonard said, get your head together and meet me in 3 days. And he took off for the north. And I was so confused. So for 3 days, my mind was like glue. How am I going to choose the right guru? And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. And at the end of 3 days, I went outside and I started screaming, God, I need to know my true destiny and who's my real guru, and I need to know tonight. I remember screaming that at midnight. And then I had a dream, and I heard the music of the Arti, which is Marcus is going to play for you today. I heard it in my dream, and I suddenly recognized that from another lifetime. I said, oh, Babaji is it. I jumped on a bus, and I headed toward Haldwani, which is the town where Leonard had said, you find this saint named Muniraj. Okay, so I got there and I thought, well, it's going to be a little mountain village. No, it was a bustling town, city, and I didn't have an address. And I'm asking people for 4 hours, do you know Muniraj? The thing about it is I had a lot of faith at that time, and the fourth hour I met this guy. He said, oh yeah, he has a different name in this town. His name is Trilak Singh. I said, where is he? He's down this path over there in this feed store. I thought, what's a saint doing in a feed store? Well, I went, I knocked on the door. And for me, there's only before this moment or after this moment in my life. This moment changed my life. The door opened and here's this guru or saint wearing white. He's so angelic, I couldn't believe it. And he put his hand over my aura. He said, okay, you may go. And he sent me on the path. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, so there I was, and I had a backpack, and you had to go through the river, and the river was kind of high, so we had to put our passport in the plastic around our neck, and I kept falling in the river. Oh my God. Anyway, I finally got there. And I saw these 108 steps. I started running up these steps to find Babaji, and I ran up really fast. I was so excited, and somebody pulled on my skirt and said, hey, you're supposed to pranam to the guru, which means bow. I said, well, where is he? He said, right there. And I had run by him. The reason I didn't recognize Babaji is he was not wearing what I thought a guru should wear. He was wearing this gunny sack, and he had this straw hanging out of his mouth. And later I figured out he greeted me like a farmer because I was raised with farmers in Iowa. And I said, I can't believe that's my guru. So then I bowed to him, and he said, oh, Mrs. Sandra, go to your room, take a rest, you know. And I couldn't believe it. So I got up there, and I had so much resistance in my ego that all these flies attacked me. It just felt like thousands of flies were attacking me. I thought, I'll never make it here. Then I looked around, there was no flies on anybody else. I thought, oh my God, I must be in total resistance. So I threw myself in the ground. I started rebirthing myself. Then the flies left. Anyway, what happened was that night, I saw him come out of his room, and when the bells were ringing, and he was wearing the exact fantasy that I had. Satin robes and a turban, the colors and everything I wanted, he was wearing. And he looked at me from a long distance, and I hit the ground. And he knocked me over in 1 second. So that was the beginning of my relationship with Babaji. And, you know, it was really intense because I had no idea what it was like to surrender to a guru or anything. I didn't know what was going on in India. I didn't know anything. I tried. I said, okay, I'm willing to surrender. And then somebody said, well, you can't go in the temple when you have your menstrual period if you're a woman. I said, what? I said, well, thank God I don't have my period. And right then I started breakthrough bleeding, if you can imagine. So I was hysterical. I thought, now, why is this happening to me? And, you know, I thought, well, what do I do? I don't want to feel left out. So I got this brainstorm that I would sit outside the temple. I wouldn't go in, I wouldn't break the rules, but I would sit outside the temple and listen to the chanting of the arti, which we're going to play in a minute. Then I won't feel left out. That's what I did. I sat out there and everybody's in there chanting, and I'm sitting outside, and Babaji sees me out there, and he finally looks at me and he said, motions, you come. I thought, oh my God, he's going to let me in, even though he knows it's not my real period. So I rushed in and I sat down. Everybody's chanting and chanting. And then he starts yelling, you! It took him 3 days to give me a name. You! And he said, are you a man or a woman? Now, this is what Leonard had told me. Just, you think you're so smart, Sandra. Babaji's going to have your case in 1 second, which he did. Because when I was born, you know, my father wanted a boy or whatever. So I had a confusion there. And he was processing me instantly on my conception trauma. So I sat down, I said, I'm a woman. He said, well, over there. And I didn't realize I was sitting with all the men. So anyway, that's the beginning of the whole thing. And, you know, a lot happened that day. I'm going to read to you a little part of this book now, just to give you, You know, this whole book we call Babaji, My Miraculous Meetings with Mahavatar. Okay. Well, Babaji sent out of several people from the Arti. Why did he do that? Was their energy not good? I knew one of these gals, so I was curious where he had sent them. To the fire temple. What's that? At the end, I mustered up a lot of self-esteem and I asked him if I could go there myself as I was cold. He said, yes. Okay. So I went. I wandered to the fire. I'm reading from this book. I wandered from the fire temple over to the fire temple, and I saw all these really, really old yogis gathered around the fire along with the woman Babaji has sent out. It was an eerie feeling to see these yogis doing such serious chanting. It was my first day, so I had no idea what was going on. One of the oldest yogis motioned for me to sit next to him, and then he began to sing to me as if I was the only woman in the universe. It was very romantic. This guy was like 98 years old. It was very romantic, and I could not understand why this old guy would be trying to turn me on. I asked somebody what the words were that he was singing to me, and someone said, oh, all he ever does is sing about God. Then the same old yogi passed me a pipe and told me to sit next to him and smoke this. Well, I thought it was a peace pipe. I had no idea what it was. I took one whiff and I was right out of my body. I have no idea what it was. All I remember that these old men were standing up suddenly, slapping me on the back, bringing me back into my body. So I said to them, I better go straight to bed. I can't handle this. I could not handle whatever it was. So I went to my room, I got in my sleeping bag, and suddenly Babaji appeared to me straight away, floating in the air. This is my first night in Herakhan. It was a baby's body with an old man's head. So he had the old man's head, the baby's body floating in the air, and the baby's body had an old man's head, which was the head of old Herakhan Baba, the other materialization, if you can imagine. So I recognized old Herakhan Baba as the earlier manifestation. I felt so much energy and light that I started shaking intensely and flipping out. I woke up one of my roommates and I said, do you see this? He could see nothing. Babaji would not go away, and he stayed like that, floating in the air in front of me all night. At one point, I got so scared that I woke up my roommate again and told him to go in my backpack and get out the Course in Miracles. It's interesting that I brought the Course in Miracles, and that was when it was in 3 different books. I don't know why I did it, but anyway, I made him read the words of Jesus to me with a flashlight. It was the only thing that calmed me down and kept me from totally freaking out. I got no sleep at all. That was a lot for my first day. So my second day with Babaji told us all to cross the river and sit with him. This is where he began socking it to me. He would yell at me, you, give a speech. What would I speak about? I was a nurse at the time. I was just becoming a rebirther. I'd never been a public speaker, but obviously he was training me for my future. He gave me no notice and I had no topic, but I had to get it together. So I thought, well, I don't know what to speak about. I'll just share about what happened in my room last night. So that's what I did. There was kind of a medium-sized group from all over the world there. I began speaking and then I got very nervous about what I was doing, if I was doing it right. So I looked over my shoulder to Babaji and I was shocked to see him sitting on a rock, coloring in a coloring book. He also seemed to be on another planet. That was my thought. He's on another planet. Then I felt, well, that's an unusual thought. Well, for 4 days, he kept saying, you give a speech. Later, I appreciated this training. He was seeing my future as a public figure, and he was preparing me. Okay, that's just a few moments of being at Herakhan. You know, we take people to Herakhan every year. We hope you'll go with us. We go to the Divine Mother Festival, which is 9 straight days of worship to the Divine Mother.
We have 3 more spots.
We have 3 more spots available, and it's filling up fast. Anyway, if you can't go, then please come with us in the fall to Fall Navaratri, which is the Divine Mother Festival, which is held at Baka Ashram in Colorado, which is very beautiful. So maybe you could start out with that if you can't make it to India. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I highly recommend you come with us. Okay, so we're going to be playing the arti, which is we sing to Babaji every morning and every evening. And the thing about singing the arti is that you get connected to Babaji, you get his energy, and at the same time, singing this helps you process your stuff. So while we're playing this now, you're going to release something. Babaji's energy is going to come through you, and you're going to release something. How can I describe thy unfathomable greatness? That's what we're singing. Come, show yourself to us. I surrender to you, Lord of Herakhan, Supreme Guru. Thy face is radiant light, and thou art a storehouse of bliss. This is what we're singing, but it's going to be in Sanskrit. But it doesn't matter if you don't understand it, because it's all praises to Babaji, and the energy of Babaji will come through you, okay? Let us hear your sweet voice, O priceless words. I surrender to you, Lord of Herakhan, Supreme Guru. Thy eyes, a source of mercy, are so beautiful. Okay, those are the kind of things we're singing. When you sing praises, what happens to you, anytime you're doing praises, you get healed, because praises to the Guru or God or the Divine Mother are all high frequency energies, and this heals you. So today, whatever you want to get healed of, let's have it happen. That's my goal for you. I hope that Babaji's energy is coming through us to you, and we acknowledge you for coming every week. And Babaji said, if you come every week, you're going to get in such a high frequency that bad energy can't stick to you. So it's a very good thing to come every week and join us here. And we always play very high mantras. And today we're playing the arti.
I just wanted to acknowledge people who've never met Babaji. You can still have a very strong presence of him in your life. I never actually met Babaji in the flesh, but I've been to Herakhan many times, over a couple, maybe 15, 20 times. And I do feel his presence in my life. And I've been painting him for about 15 years now. So I get the presence that way. So I just wanted to acknowledge that just because you haven't met Babaji in the flesh doesn't mean you can't have a powerful presence of him in your life. He's easy to connect to once you express your intention.
विश्वउद्धारिणे पुत्रस्ते अधिकारी पुत्रस्ते अधिकारी जय जगदाम्ब शिवे ॐ जय जगदाम्ब शिवे आदानीच संसारिणे दिव्यप्रकाशिने मया दिव्यप्रकाशिने कुण्डलिनी साकार जय जगदाम्ब शिवे ॐ जय जगदाम्ब शिवे सिन्दूरारुणकान्ति भ्रान्ति प्रमारिणे मया भ्रान्ति प्रमारिणे मोहनि मायेरि मोहनि मायेरि जय जगदाम्ब शिवे ॐ जय जगदाम्ब शिवे सुप्रसन्नति यशदायिने हेराखानिने मया हेराखानिने कल्पवेलि श्रीं कल्पवेलि श्रीं जय जगदाम्ब शिवे ॐ जय जगदाम्ब शिवे श्रीचरणाश्रितकपटानि तपोबलानि मया तपोबलानि रीतिसिद्धिकीदानि जय जगदाम्ब शिवे ॐ जय जगदाम्ब शिवे श्रीहेराखानिने जगमनहारिणे मया जगमनहारिणे दयामयी देवेशि दयामयी देवेशि जय जगदाम्ब शिवे ॐ जय जगदाम्ब शिवे
बोल श्री हेराखंडे श्री माता की जय।
I wanted to read a poem I wrote from the Babaji book, and then Sandra wants to make some announcements. So this is Babaji's Blessing for You, chapter 21 in the book on Babaji. To you, our breathers, our mantra breathers, I bow at your feet and bless you with the touch of my devotion. Just imagine this is Babaji talking to you. To you who have read these lines with patience and clear attention, I give you my many blessings of gratitude. To you who are in the fits of your greatest rage, I give you the balm of peace and understanding. You are not hurt, but rather instantly forgiven. To you who have doubts that God is real in your life, I place myself at your mercy and pray you will take my hand. To you who have labored long and are on the brink of losing faith, I give you the certainty that all is well and I am with you. To you who give birth to new life and nurture the children of a new world where war and conflict are abolished, I praise you to the heavens as you are the angels. To all the mothers who suffer the death of their child in the midst of their brightest days, I wipe away your tears and take these ones into my heart forever, into a new life, and protect the ones they left behind. To all the men of terror who think killing is the answer to righting a wrong, I wrap my arms around you and pound the cold metal of your guns into plowshares. To all the leaders of the world who are dominated by greed, I show you your extravagance and bow with you at the feet of the poor. To all the workers who survive by the use of their bodies for the corporations, I pay you with the rewards of my homage and love. To all the builders of great temples and structures of great height and depth, I show you the biggest temple within your heart. To all the children who run over fields of grass with no care in sight, I surround you with the joy of your own innocence. To all the women who are beaten and raped by the frightened men of anger and distress, I hold you tightly to my breast and offer you my repentance. To all the people bereft from loss and sorrow, I give you my whole being to restore your abundance and joy. To all the soldiers who pledge allegiance to their nations, I protect you from hate and hasten the end of all wars. To all the devotees who travel to Herakhan to bow at the feet of the living Guru inside of you, I pour my infinite blessings into your heart and life. To all the brothers and sisters who put aside their differences and embrace each other in common bond, I give you everything you want. To all the fathers who have lost touch with their sons, I bring them running back to you with tears of joy. To the men and women in prisons around the world, I give you total absolution now. To all the judges and lawyers who decide the fates of countless criminals, I show you the mistakes you have made and temper your justice with forgiveness. To all the governors and presidents who rule over people, I bless you with the divine connection of right action. To all the leaders who can see their own mistakes, I offer you a way to correct yourself. To all the homeless men, women, and children who have fallen into lack and loneliness, I enter your hearts and send you angels and feed you with the bread of this bountiful earth. To all the people who have lost their fortunes, I give you value beyond worldly kingdoms. To all of you who worship gold before God, I show you the currency of your own breath and blood. To all the followers of Jesus and Mohammed and Moses, I invite you to the holy table of my universal supper and give you the communion of absolute unity. To all the families who lost loved ones to the enemy, I give you my tears and beg your forgiveness. To all the musicians who play the heavenly sounds of pure joy on their instruments, I give you my ears to listen wholeheartedly. To all the artists who paint pictures of exceptional beauty, I bless your brushes and canvas with the color of pure light. To all the architects who give humanity shelter, I keep you from the storms of decay and bless your structures with longevity. To all the office workers who sit at computer screens all day long, I come over your systems and enter your eyes with electrons of bliss. To the road builders and bridge builders who bring humanity together, I bless your byways with the highest use and intentions. To all the well diggers and water bearers who bring my precious liquid to the masses, I bless you with the flowing of everlasting life. To all the doctors and nurses who care for the sick, I make your minds and hands true in the healing of your patients and bless your medicines with the power of complete restoration. To all the sick and people in pain and disease, I come to take you to the healing home of my ever-giving love. To all the servants who wait on others, I help you bear the burdens of your labors and open you to the service of love. To all the writers and journalists who report the times, I look through your eyes and guide your words to describe only the truth. To all those with regrets from the past, I give you another chance to make amends and right your wrongs. To all those married for the entire life to their mates, I bless you with the light of newly found harmony. To all those divorced from their mates and on to another, I surround your ex with the happiness of a greater destiny. To all the children of broken homes, I am your mother and father. Come running to me, and I will love you beyond measure. To all the fathers who place high hopes in their sons, I give you your own dreams to make manifest, and sons to exceed your highest expectations, and sons who forgive you for your falling short. To all the teachers who profess to be enlightened, I give you the humility to walk your talk. To all the politicians who write laws to govern people, I am the silence you need to be just and honest with yourself, to govern with all your heart for the greater good of all citizens. To all the men and women doing the jobs no one else wants, the garbage men and cleaning ladies, the migrant workers and the laborers, you will be free of strife as I hold you in my heart and lift your burdens to the lightness of my being. To all the women who have been abused at the hands of their fathers, come to me to find forgiveness you need to release all parties from fear and guilt. To all the angry people who think their anger is justified, I hold up a mirror to your face and show you your distortion and caress your brow with my hand of pure peace. To all those who choose peace as the way to dissolve conflict, I remove the consequences from the mistakes you thought you made. To all the angels on the edge of the world waiting to come, I open the floodgates of your help to remove the human sorrow. To all the animals on the planet who keep the chain of life going in a harmonious fashion, I surround you with the Divine Mother of natural perfection. To all the species endangered by the hands of human, I give you new pastures, fields, and forests, new water cleaned in the correction of my love, new skies with fresh air to support your long life on this planet. To all the animals slaughtered for food and slaughtered for sport and slaughtered for no good reason, I hold your innocence in the palm of my hand and keep your spirits in the divine government of this earth. To all the great trees felled and forests decimated in the name of progress, I change the minds of men who do these deeds for greed and industry and put a blanket of my protection over you. To all the crust of the earth that has been dug and scraped and mined for the minerals of the Divine Mother, I slow down the process of raping the land and give new ideas to science for solar energy. To all the good minds focused on the basic needs of people living in an industrialized society, I bring the ethics of preservation and the spark of reverence needed to protect the earth and the new technology to feed the people. To the mother who lost her child by the gesture of his own hand, I give you solace and peace of mind. He is whole in my care, and you are not to blame for his passing. To the mother and father whose child declares preference for the same sex, I give you understanding and acceptance and the wisdom to love your child more deeply than ever. To the mother who cannot give milk to the baby from her own breasts I give you the means to let your love flow again, and the nourishment to bring your child to the nipples of your love. To the father who goes to work every day to pay the bills and put food on the table, I give you strength to endure and love of the family that appreciates what you provide. To the macho men who dominate the women of their life and world, I give you a different vision of your strength that has the holy feminine within it. To the active women who want to change to happen, who want change to happen in the world and make their power known, I give effectiveness to your words and actions and the wisdom to retain your feminine softness. To the caretakers who assist the aged and the sick, who bring their healing touch to those who have been forgotten by their families, I give you the ability to bring your cheer to the lonely and alone. To all the seekers who want liberation in this lifetime from the birth and death cycle, I give you the vision of certain immortality. To all the multitude of people who have never heard of masters from India and the Far East, I give you understanding to your doubt and the spark of acceptance that makes my presence known. To all the busy people working in offices by the millions, I come into your computer screen and transmit my life, my light, into your third eye on your forehead. To all the realms of deceased who have not yet passed into the light of pure forgiveness, I hasten your release by my non-judgment of my still mind. To all the readers who have seen themselves in the pages of this book and who have taken me into your heart, I give the gift of pure joy and replace your mind with mine. To all the teachers and sages who continue their quest to lift humanity to new levels of peace and joy, I give you my gratitude. To the person holding this book now, I give you my total grace and pay homage to you as my brother or sister in the wholeness of one creation. Bole Baba Ki Jai. All right. Well, Sandra would like to say a few words and complete.
Okay, I acknowledge all you guys today. Write to me if you want to share anything about this session, Sandra@sandraray.com. Also, think of one person you know that might need help or might enjoy mantra breathing. Think of that person right now. Who comes to mind? And tell them they could come as your guest the first time for free next time. We need to get more people here. So please contact them right away and tell them about the next mantra breathe, and they can come for free first time. And in case you don't want to go to India with us, maybe you'll even want to come to Fall Navaratri, which is the Divine Mother Festival at Babaji's ashram in Colorado. So the dates for that are October 3 to 11. So reserve those dates in your calendar if you want to join us. And we need to know if you're serious about that, because we need to reserve the rooms way in advance, months and months in advance. So let us know if you're serious about joining us. You can't go to India, at least you could go to Babaji's ashram in Colorado, which is in Crestone. It's very beautiful. And they do the whole full-on fire ceremonies, the arati, everything for 9 straight days. Okay, Bole Baba Ki Jai, write to me.